Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head there. I think for us to even physically be in communities, even physically for us to be in close proximity to the masjid, I think that can be a game changer in many, many cases. I think that can be a game changer. Um, the main Islamic center that I usually attend here in Toronto, I won't mention the name, but mashallah, it's a good masjid and they have a good imam and they have some good programs, but the youth simply don't come. The youth simply don't show up for those programs. But why? Because that mosque is what I would call a destination mosque, meaning, as you put it, you have to drive to get there, right? It's not close to any residential area. On the other hand, I know smaller mosques which are not as well funded, that don't have as many amenities. They don't even have a gymnasium and all this to have youth activities, but their programs, at least their lectures and things like that, they are better attended by the youth. Why? Because that mosque is not just a destination mosque, but it's a neighborhood mosque. It's a neighborhood mosque. Most of the houses in that area are inhabited by Muslim families. And so it's easy for the teenagers and for the adults to simply walk to the mosque. And it's natural that when you go to the mosque, you're going to bump into other teenagers. You're going to know other people, other kids on the street. And so I think that's one of the answers. I definitely think that's one of the answers. So yeah, if you're really, you have children, you're concerned, you want to ingrain them with Islamic values from a young age, I think it will be a big help to live in Muslim communities or close to the masjid, So when they're having a program, your kid is not relying on you. Well, you guys are all young yourself. I don't imagine you have teenager kids yet, but I'm just speaking to the general audience, that these teenager boys and girls don't have to rely on their parents for a ride to the mosque. You know what I mean? They can just say, okay, I'll walk 5 minutes, 10 minutes to the mosque. I think that makes a big difference. I mean, remember hijrah. We started this conversation, but you were asking about hijrah, right? Hijrah doesn't just have to be from one country to another country. Remember this. Hijrah can be within the same land. It can be within the same country. So earlier on, I said, if I lived in French Canada, no doubt I'm doing hijrah. But hijrah doesn't have to mean Malaysia or Turkey. I would do hijrah to English Canada. You see what I mean? And if the community is not big enough for you in Calgary, right? Maybe you do hijrah to Toronto, right? I know when the Syrian refugees were coming a few years ago, I was talking with them and I was mixing with them because initially they were housed by the government in a hotel close to the Tariq Islamic Center. And so we got to meet a lot of them and talk with them. And then slowly, one by one, these families got resettled somewhere up north, like Barrie, and even past Barrie, Collingwood, little towns up there in the north. So I would advise these families, I would tell them, look, once you have the opportunity, once you're kind of settled or established, you have the financial means to do it, please, brother, move to Mississauga, move back to Toronto or the greater Toronto area, because it will be much better for your children. It will be much better for your children to be in a major city where we have large Islamic conferences, where we have a lot of masajid, where we have a lot of Islamic teachers. So keep this in mind, right? Hijrah doesn't mean it has to be a dramatic flight across the ocean. Hijrah can be even within the same land. It can be within the same land.